Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Lozy PC, and welcome back to War in the Pacific and the Invictus play by email game. Yes, we are back. So, there has been a little bit of a lull on the channel at the moment, but that is just because I have been away. But we are back, and we are back at it with War in the Pacific. I hope you are all doing well. So, quick one, just before we really get into what is going on in the combat and what we're doing in this turn. I am going to be doing some more recording, and I would like to know. Something just hit a mine. That sounded like something hit a mine. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to plan to do some recording in the future for the channel. Some non-streamed stuff like this. And I would just like to basically get your opinion in the comments down below. What do you prefer? Do you prefer the live recordings like we're doing kind of now? Or do you prefer the, post written or the post added commentary? The recording is done, I know what's going to happen, and I can kind of walk through that way. So yeah, please let me know while we see what's going on over here. And there will also be a poll going out soon on YouTube, and links to Discord, etc. In regards to what you guys want to see. But yes, so again, it did sound like something hit a mine, but there doesn't seem to be any reports of anything hitting a mine, which is interesting, to say the least. So we will keep an eye on that. We are trying to fly over Singapore at night, and it does look like many of our planes are kind of not being able to succeed in doing so, which is rather frustrating. So, hopefully, maybe they can get a bit better. There is some Blenheims that have managed to... some Nels that have managed to get through, but there were some Blenheims that tried to counter them. Now, 8 damaged Nels, 1 destroyed by flak, but not a lot of damage, really, which is not great. Need to keep an eye on things. We did manage to get over Cheng Tower with a load of Betty bombers. They are doing some good hits on the runway, but again, it feels like the AVG, the Flying Tigers, are no longer there. So we'll have to look for somewhere else maybe to try and, lure them out and find where they are. Again, some more Nels getting through. Probably most of these going to get damaged. Yeah, 1 destroyed by flak according to the combat report. So, there are some Betty bombers getting through as well. Also taking some damage, which, again, not great. And not really doing much either, frustratingly. But, if it keeps Invictus on his toes a little bit... now everything's trying to get through. Some Blenheims have actually managed to get to the Nels at night, but didn't do a lot of damage. Yeah, again, not really anything happening in regards to attacking the airfield, because obviously something we know and something we've dealt with is there were a lot of buffaloes based in Singapore, and the aim of these bombing raids was to try and wipe those out. But if there isn't kind of anything there, or we're not doing too much damage, I don't want to waste aircraft just kind of flying over, dropping bombs and doing not a lot. We have the Perch trying to annoy us near Eba, where we're offloading a load of troops to help with Clark Field and then Patan. But we can see that we are doing some damage to the Perch here. I wouldn't say we're doing a lot. It's doing some damage and taking on water. Now it's starting to leak oil, which, is a little bit better. But generally when I see it say, taking on water, what I imagine in my head is that it's springing a leak. A pipe has burst or something, which is not necessarily super worrying for a submarine. If we start seeing things like oil has been hit, or, you know, severe damage, etc. That's what we are going to be happy with. Now, we have the Haruna and some other ships here bombarding Tarakan, just to try and eventually, you know, deal with Tarakan, because it's doing our head in. That has managed to survive so long. So we've got the Haruna and the Congo here that are doing some, you know, hopefully decent hits. You know, also some CLs, and I think there's a couple of destroyers here as well. Just obviously to provide cover. 71 allied ground casualties, not really much destroyed. We hit the airbase, we hit the port, we hit the runway. Generally pretty good, actually, in regards to, you know, night attack. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, yeah, good. Good. You know, it is satisfying when you have a plan, you want something to happen, and it goes successfully like that. Again, it's not the biggest thing in the world, you know, it's not sinking allied carriers or anything like that, or sinking major allied ships, but just being able to actually, you know, do things that we're planning is really good. Oh my god, that sub-chaser is the luckiest thing in the world. We got hit by a submarine, hit by a torpedo. If that had actually done some damage, that would have gone massively tits up. Now then, this is interesting. Just off Woodlock Island, which means we might need to be careful with some of our ships that are moving down there. There is the HMAS Perth, the HMAS Adelaide, the Bulmer, and the Stuart as well. Now, not a significant allied fleet, but that is somewhat interesting. Now, there is also an SB-3 Dauntless attacking a KD-6A aircraft submarine near Suva, so near Fiji. Again, giving me suggestions that we're starting to maybe work out where some of the allied fleets are. Particularly, say, for example, with that Dauntless, it would suggest that there's carriers down there. Now, interesting here, Kukong, AVG. So, where are they flying from? What we can do is we can attempt to... we're losing some Oscars here, which is pretty worrying. You know, I know that the Flying Tigers are very good, but yes, I'm kind of curious. Are they in Kukong? If so, then this is where we will bomb tomorrow. We'll do the same thing that we've kind of done and hit Kukong and see if we can, you know, knock out some more of the Flying Tigers. They're not going to be around forever, which is obviously, you know, something that we do need to be aware of. But if we can get, you know, most of them damaged and destroyed, it is going to, you know, provide us with that little bit more leeway in, yeah, not terrible, a little bit more leeway in China. I'm enjoying the wildebeest attempting to attack me in China. It's intriguing, to say the least. But yes, so a little bit more scouting going on at Pamalabang, which is good. We obviously want to know what's going on there before we land troops. Something was having difficulty there. But yeah, I'm really curious to see, is Invictus bringing carriers up? Is he taking them back? What is he doing with those? And obviously, what is he doing with the Perth and Adelaide, etc.? You know, is he going to plan to do another raid on Rabaul, which is very possible? Or is he going to... Is it just a kind of fleet just to patrol and catch any of my kind of island, you know, hopping and stuff out? Because I think that is something he probably will be trying to do more than anything. Is, you know, if I'm trying to expand on these little islands to build up air bases to kind of cover southern New Guinea and the Coral Sea, he's already shown that he's willing to send destroyers and other ships to kind of harass those units as they land. So that could be what the Perth and Adelaide are doing there. This is our deliberate attack at Cheng Chou. We've managed to reduce the fortifications down to nothing. Pretty even in regards to casualties, but the most significant thing is we can see that the Chinese are getting a lot of destroyed casualties rather than us. Deliberate attack on Tarakan. Still, annoyingly, Tarakan not budging. Despite the bombardment from last night, they're still not budging. So we'll see how things go. Bombardment attack at Tier 1. That's all fine. And that is the end of the ground combat. And that will be the end of the day of January the 13th, 1942. So let's go into making our orders and making our plans. We've got a couple of things that we can work out what we need to do. So we'll keep an eye on that. And again, we'll see if there's any info, any, intriguing sightings or info that we've found. Now, a load of naval guard units, a load of SNLF companies, and a special base force turning up. So we've got a few more reinforcements, which is nice and handy. Now, again, we think perhaps Kukong is where the enemy are. We've got a couple of Dinas here that need some pilots. Now, I'm quite happy with pilots for recon to be relatively low skilled to begin with, because they're not at risk of losing as many pilots. Therefore, I'm happy for them to be somewhat, unskilled. Now, elsewhere, obviously, we do want to make sure that things are going pretty well. We have some Sallies here. Now, I'm just kind of thinking, where are we going to use these? Obviously, China and, Burma in the future. We're going to get them on ground attack training for the time being. Just to get them kind of prepared for, And we're going to do the same with these ANs as well. So, let's get them on ground attack training. Just to kind of make sure that these guys are prepared. If we've got stuff that's training and it's not really doing much, or we've got stuff that we're not really using just at the moment, it's going to be good to make sure that they're fully prepared for whatever we want to do in the future. Particularly things like these. The Idas, they're not particularly the best aircraft in the world. Now, interestingly, these upgrade to Dinas, which are recon aircraft. Okay. Let's get them training in recon before we do that. Okay. So, let us now go to our Betty bombers that are flying at night. They are currently attacking Changte. Let's get them to bomb Kukong to see if we can find the rest of the flying tigers. Again, let's go there. Now, they are flying a lot of missions. Let's just kind of check the planes and make sure they're not too fatigued. To be honest, they're probably okay. I might just... even the pilots are okay, because not all of them are making it to their destination straight away. I would say they're pretty good. Now, let us just check on this one. Yeah, again, there's a few that need some, a little bit of repairs, but I think a couple more days of, bombing, they should be fine. So that's always handy. How are we doing on our offloading of troops? We've still got a little way to go. Interestingly, there wasn't anything that happened at Manila yesterday. Clarkfield, which suggests, obviously, a little bit of digging in by Invictus, which we need to be worried, keep an eye on. But also perhaps not doing too much there. Now, 2,500 infantry, 4 units. No mines, interestingly, but heavily defended by PT boats, etc. So that's something we need to keep an eye on. Now then, what do we will come back to this, because I've got plans and ideas, but I want to come back to it in a minute. How are these guys doing on ammo? They haven't got a lot. They are going to need to go get more. So we'll let them go do that. Please try and take Tarakan again. We just want to capture it. And then yeah, that'll be good. And what we got offloading here, just a shit ton of supplies. That's fine. DMS on patrol. The 15th Naval Guard Unit. I'm kind of going to move that back to Mandano. The reason being is I do need to take these other bases, and we will do. Don't worry about that. Those are going to be taken. But at the moment, it's not. We've got other things to kind of worry about. Now, according to our info, the RO-34 is what found. You can go to Rabaul if you want to. There we go. The RO34 found the Perth and Adelaide down there. Now, obviously, we have a load of stuff that is being offloaded, including, importantly, some naval Air Force units to back up our zeros and things like that. Now, we do have part of the Kido Butai over here, the Hiryu, Soryu, Shikaku, and Zukaku. So, what we're going to do is we're actually going to bring it close to Rabul on its patrol route, just to try and see if they can spot anything. Because again, we've had, units moving around, and I'm kind of suspicious of what Invictus is going to do. And I feel like he's going to go for another kind of raid somewhere. Now, most of this we can see that we're offloading troops and things like that. We've just got mine layers and things. So generally, at the moment, it's not. They should be fine. There's some support there. There's obviously aircraft as well. And we're going to make sure that we've got the Kido Butai down there as well to cover them. But yeah, we need to just keep an eye on that, and we'll obviously send some troops down. Now, which one was it? Is this a... What type is this? Let's just double check. Type 6, KD6A class. So it was the I-169 that said it was attacked by a Dauntless. Now that could obviously be from Suva. There is airbase on Suva, so that could mean nothing really, but it is interesting. And now unfortunately we haven't got any information down there of what we've seen, which is a pain in the backside, but that's fine. Now what we do have here though, and what is important, is to transfer ships to and from the TF. Let's transfer that AV over there into Tarawa. And then let's go to mission. Let's go to surface combat. And let's send this to these destroyers to Rabul. Again, provide support. So return to Rabul. There we go. We have guys at Macon, which should set their home port to Ocean Island, so we can get Nauru Island. And again, maybe soon to get to Alangi as well, and Lunga. Again, we want to get these Solomon Islands pretty sharpish. Now, how are we doing over here? Airfield is expanding. The port capacity is should be okay for the time being. There shouldn't really be too much issue there. There were some ports that did some airfields that did expand, so we'll keep an eye on that. We're also going to move these guys down again to Rabul, set TF routing, destination. There we go. Set patrol zone. So let us try to blockade Brisbane. I think that's something that's going to be useful because, in theory, there will be coming American shipping and things like that. Brisbane is relatively large as a port. Now, the other big thing is that Brisbane is likely, he's probably going to move stuff to Sydney. Now, again, we're not really seeing too much going on there. And something I might try and do is I might try to mine places like Sydney. Just for the fucking shits and giggles. But genuinely, try to make sure that Sydney is nice and difficult for him to get through. We can load mines onto our submarines. So, again, it could just cause that little bit of damage that will frustrate him. So, I'm just having a look at what we have around here. We've got a few units here that we can move from Babladalb to other areas. And I think one of the places that we're going to move some of these, obviously you can see we've got engineers here ready to go, is these guys. These are construction units. So let us move these guys down also to Rabul to give these guys a hand. So, troops. Charge load only, verify load, accept. Destination. Yeah. More construction, etc. to help out. These guys are doing supply, and then the rest of them, when they come back, what we'll do is we will get them to move some of those other Air Force units over to Kuching, because the 4th Battalion is part of the 2nd Infantry Regiment, which we kind of want to make sure is together. Sorry, not 2nd Infantry Regiment, 2nd Infantry Division, which we want to make sure is together, so that what we can do with that is turn it, use it for our invasion south in Java, etc. Now, interestingly, there is some movement going on from Invictus towards my guys going towards Kuala Lumpur. Again, keep an eye on that. We also see that there is the 1st Burma Division in Molmine, so he clearly has got something there he is kind of planning, which is très intéressant, as one might say. The airfield at Piscane is expanding, which is good. We want that to happen. And we also have a few road construction units up here. Now, again, let us move them up to Piscane too from Bangkok. So let's get them into strat move because it will be quicker. And then go boop. And boop. Now they'll move up there in a couple of days. And again, the kind of key point is to make sure that this gets decently sized. We can obviously move Air Force units and stuff when we need to. Obviously, the only big issue there is that Kipon Thrak, which has got a lot of our Air Force units in Indochina, is not connected to Pesalonque, again, terrible pronunciation, by rail. But we can move them to Phnom Penh, and then from there they can go up. And there's also stuff in Phnom Penh too, which will help, as well as some guys here. There is actually a base force here in Compound Chang, which might be a good thing to move. Again, lots of aviation support, decent amount of engineers, and some AA, which is pretty useful. So let's get those into strat move, and let's get, say, 2 battalions with them. And again, it's just to try and get these air bases built quicker, and then, help us try and launch our movement into Burma. Get air superiority over Burma, which is going to be hard. Oh wait, no. I think I've accidentally moved one that wasn't supposed to move. Let me just double check. No, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, yeah, that should be okay. So yeah, it's going to be difficult, but if we can make sure we've got decent air bases and decently protected air bases, then it shouldn't be as much of a problem. Now then, something that we are going to want to use if we are going for the invasion of somewhere like Pamalbang is we do have a thing here called called an LSD. Okay. Now this is a landing ship dock. And basically what this is going to be useful for is it helps with our offloading of troops. So if we are moving an entire division at Java or Pamalbang, this is going to be something that's going to be very, very useful for us. So we might make sure that that is in play. We also have got some, along here, some troop transports as well, which will also massively help. There's also some mortar battalions here, which will be useful. So let us get that as well. So what I want to do, let's get those into strat move. Oh, no, not you. Get these into strat move. We're going to move some AA down to Kuching, but these guys are going to go into strat. Then what we're going to do is let us get a form UTF. Should just be able to kind of do this with one transport ship, really. So let's take. Might even get away with this. Now I did see some APDs here. The Hagi, that'll do. It is a transport destroyer, but it's more for just a little bit of protection. Set home port Kuching. Sorry, not home port. Set location Kuching. Dock. And then load troops. So, where are they? There they are. Those guys. Verify load. Accept. And then they can take that down. And again, that just makes sure that we've got a little bit of protection here, a little bit more cover, because we're going to be moving those recon regiments out as well. Elsewhere, things are pretty okay. There's a load of nates here. Why are these all buggered? Can't remember. But they're all buggered. I think I might have been offloading them from a ship. I can't remember. Been a while. Okay, minesweeping is going pretty good so far. That's handy. Again, need to kind of it's one of those things. You always feel like you need to be moving even quicker than I am. And I do worry about my speed of movement. Again, I like to be cautious. I don't want to rush into something and completely fuck it. Okay, how are our submarines in here? The RO-33, massively damaged. Let's get most of its damage cleared, and then we can go from there. Ship's under repair. Okay, I don't think these guys are going to get any more repairs. That's going to get one more. We're going to have to move into somewhere more significant. That's fine. Okay. No, we are moving. Are we moving ACMs down? We've got a CM, which is a cruiser or a mine layer. Cruiser mine layer, but not 100% sure if we did move an ACM down here. Oh no, there is a couple of ACMs down there. Good. So these guys will make sure that there's plenty of mines there. So can they replenish? No fuel transferred. No mines either. Okay. Well, they can stay in because they can manage the minefield at Rabaul, which hopefully now is somewhat significant. There's 25 mines there. Okay, that's not that significant. Yeah, but that's fine. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all we really need to do today. Actually, let's just go quickly check. We'll check the weather. We'll be a good boy and check the weather. Let's go check how things are going on over here. Yeah, I think again the Battle of Shangshou should be carrying on pretty much the way it is. Our guys are doing pretty well. They've taken some damage, which is totally understandable. They're trying to take a fucking significant city. So I am expecting them to take some damage there. And obviously elsewhere we need to push towards Kuala Lumpur and Kutan. Okay, things are going pretty well. Let's move these guys back to Kuching so that they can get ready to load and go from there and get prepared to invade Java. I'm hoping we can get that done roughly about February. And obviously with our amphibious assault on Pamlabang, it is getting ready to move, which will be intriguing, to say the least. The way I see it is we've got more units, or we should have more infantry than what he has there. Good. And, once we kind of get there, we can't see any mines, although we're going to have to be careful with that. I'm wondering if it's worthwhile. I mean, he's got PT boats, which is kind of the issue. Okay, before we do anything, what I'm going to do... I know this isn't ideal as such. I mean, you guys are moving a load of aviation support over. But let us fly. Opa. Let's fly some lilies over here. Okay. And then let's get them to port attack on the bank. Are you kidding me? It's ever so slightly too far. Oh, piss. Piss, piss, piss. Oh, that's really frustrating. Okay. Right. So, we'll leave it here as my cat is meowing to come in. Quickly check if there's anything interesting going on here. No, not too much. Just check the weather. Oh, that's a strategic map. That's not the weather. This is the weather. Partly cloudy, clear sky, thunderstorm. So maybe China might not get much going on today. Okay, cool. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Have a very, very lovely day. Remember to comment whether you prefer the live recordings or, you know, kind of post-recorded voiceover recordings. And keep an eye out for the poll that will be coming out in the next few days for what we should do as a new series on the channel. Until then, have a very, very good day. Bye!